Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my list and I will spell, because they don't just play but they...
Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Now, I'm just going to do a video about Arne Slot's most questionable comments since he became the Liverpool manager 19 or 20 months ago. Now, some of you might be asking the question, what does it matter what he says? Because ultimately what matters is what happens on the pitch. Jose Mourinho, I'm afraid, famously said, "For me, the game begins when the first press conference has started." And what Jose Mourinho meant by this is that even though the result is ultimately decided on the pitch, the truth is that press conferences and interviews can be used to send psychological messages to one's own players, to the opposition, and to the world at large. So we are now going to look at his most questionable comments, his 5 most questionable comments since Arne Slot became the Liverpool manager. Now, as you know, Arsenal are top of the league. They're currently 4 points clear, and they have been top of the league for most of the last 5 months. Now, number 1 on my list when it comes to the quotes of Arne Slot we are going to look at is what I am going to call Arsenal set pieces. Now, on the 17th of October 2025, during a press conference where he addressed Liverpool's defensive struggles, Arne Slot made a comparison that was later branded as diabolical by the former Arsenal player Anders Limpar. Now, Arne Slot questioned the 1-point gap at the time by highlighting Arsenal's set-piece efficiency, and this is what the Liverpool manager said. He said, "If you tell me that we've conceded 40% of our goals from set pieces and the number 1 team in the league," he was talking about Arsenal, of course, "has scored 60% of their goals from set pieces, and we are still 1 point behind that team, I would probably think that is not even that bad." Now, some of you might say he is only analysing the statistical difference between Liverpool and Arsenal in terms of their set pieces. While this might be technically true, it is very important to understand exactly how things come across. One of the most important things is that during this press conference, Arne Slot did not at any point say Arsenal are top because they deserve to be top. He spent huge chunks of the press conference talking about set pieces, and a lot of people took away from the press conference that he was in fact trying to denigrate Arsenal by saying they do not score enough goals from open play. Now, this unfortunately is a problem that we have seen from Arne Slot throughout his reign. What he tends to do is when Liverpool have a problem, whether it is a technical problem, a strategic problem, or a tactical problem, instead of solving the problem quietly, he tends to announce to the world what the problem is. He alerts everybody to what he cannot deal with, and this, of course, gives opposition the encouragement to keep doing the same thing, to keep playing the same tactics, and to keep taking points off Liverpool FC. Now, as all Liverpool fans will be aware, this has not been a great season for Liverpool Football Club. They currently sit in the 6th position in the Premier League, having, of course, won the title last year. Now, one of the main reasons that this has happened, according to Arne Slot, is what we can call here the low block. So Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, has mentioned the phrase low block more than 20 times in the last 5 months in press conferences and interviews. So what is the low block, you might ask? Well, the low block is when a team of questionable quality, sometimes it is a team in the bottom half of the Premier League, they will play a team that is an elite team and a team that is expected to win. And what they will do is they will essentially come to a place like Liverpool, or perhaps they will come to a place like the Etihad or a place like the Emirates. And in order to defeat the bigger team, or at least take points off them, what they will do is they will essentially say that we are happy with the draw here. We have no intention of attacking. And what we will do is we will play 2 holding midfielders. Our fullbacks will not go forward at all. And even our striker will play behind the ball. So there will be 11 men behind the ball all of the time. So what this does for teams like Liverpool, who ostensibly are supposed to be playing with a degree of style, is it stifles the game, it limits the space, and it prevents them from playing the type of football that they would like to play. Now, Arne Slot has mentioned this 15 to 20 times in the last 5 to 6 months. Now, the reason this is a fatal flaw is because when you are a Liverpool manager, it is not your job to alert every single team in Europe and every single team in the Premier League to what you are struggling with. Your job is to quietly solve the problem on the training ground. And I think Arne Slot, as Steven Gerrard said, needs to stop talking about the low block, and he needs to start solving the low block if he's to have any type of future at Liverpool FC. Now, number 3 is what I'm going to call the PSG obsession. Now, it was 323 days ago when Liverpool and PSG clashed in the European Champions League. So in March of 2025, Paris Saint-Germain eliminated Liverpool from the UEFA Champions League round of 16 after a dramatic penalty shootout at Anfield. Now, although both teams won their respective away legs 1-0, PSG progressed by winning the penalty shootout 4-1. Now, the reason this is very important is because until this game, Liverpool had essentially dominated the Premier League. Mohamed Salah had been playing like Lionel Messi for about 6 months, and this was essentially the first game where Arne Slot really got dragged into a serious tactical chess match, and it was with the current PSG manager, Luis Enrique. Now, what I think has happened here is I think he was out-strategized, I think he was out-tacticked, and I think he has, during this game, realized he is not quite as good a manager as he thought he was. So I believe he has a type of PTSD. I believe it is a type of Stockholm syndrome. So if you don't know what Stockholm syndrome is a psychological condition whereby when somebody is kidnapped over a long period of time, what happens is they tend to have feelings towards their kidnapper. And then once they are released back into the hands of safety, back into the hands of the police or back into the hands of their own family, what tends to happen is they tend to miss their kidnapper in a way that psychologists are finding very, very hard to explain even in 2026. So I think he has a type of Stockholm syndrome. Perhaps there's a new illness. Perhaps we can call it SLOTHOLM syndrome. I don't know. But what we have here is we have a manager, I think, who's out-tacticked, out-strategized, and he's finding it extremely difficult psychologically to cope with. And that is why he has mentioned, believe it or not, PSG in Premier League press conferences over 20 times since that game, which was in March 2025. So the third on the list is the PSG obsession, which I think he needs to get over as soon as possible for his own mental health and also for the sake of Liverpool FC. Now, almost every single Liverpool player is an international, okay? So Mohamed Salah plays for Liverpool and Egypt, for example. Curtis Jones plays for Liverpool and England. Alisson Becker plays for Liverpool and Brazil. And Dominic Szoboszlai plays for Liverpool and Hungary. Now, what I'm going to look at now might have missed most people, but I am going to explain something that I think is extremely important. Now, in November, so it was the 16th of November, 2025, Hungary played a World Cup qualifier against the Republic of Ireland. And although Hungary took the lead, and I think Szoboszlai scored quite early, Troy Parrott, the Republic of Ireland striker, struck a last-minute winner, and the Republic of Ireland knocked the Hungarians out. So the Hungarians knew in very dramatic and painful circumstances that they were not going to go to the World Cup in the United States in 2026. So this happened on the 16th of November, and on the 18th of November, Dominic Szoboszlai returned to Liverpool for a training session in preparation for a Premier League game on the weekend. Now, what happened was the journalists asked Arne Slot a question. They said, how do you manage the emotions of players, some of whom have qualified for the World Cup and some of whom have not? And this is what Arne Slot said. He said, well, Dominic should be used to disappointments here with Liverpool because we have been losing a lot of games. Now, this is a very, very telling statement because I can tell you that this is a sign that Arne Slot is completely and utterly emotionally unintelligent and unsophisticated when it comes to the feelings of other human beings. Now, I am sure that Dominic Szoboszlai, since he was a very small boy, would have dreamed about playing for his country in a World Cup. So he would have sweated blood for the last few years in order to raise the quality of his country's football to as high a standard as possible, and the World Cup appearance was within touching distance. Now, when a player loses his World Cup status, when he fails to qualify for the World Cup, in any circumstances, it is going to be extremely painful. But to lose a qualifier in the last minute away from home when you have led is probably just about the most painful way that you can get knocked out of the World Cup. Now, Arne Slot did not offer any sympathy. And what is very, very telling here is he saw it as an opportunity to make a joke because he was smiling and laughing while he was saying this. And he said, well, Dominic should be used to losing because we have been losing a lot here anyway. And I find this an absolutely incredulous statement because, number one, he is showing absolutely no sympathy to Dominic Szoboszlai. Secondly, he's making a joke when it is completely inappropriate. And thirdly, he's making fun of his own club instead of solving the problems that need to be solved. And when you compare this to Jurgen Klopp, who was extremely emotionally sophisticated, somebody who understood his players' thinking, he understood how they viewed the world, and he tried to bring them up not just as good players, but also as good men, noble men, men of honor. I think that we have seen here that there is a tremendous disconnect between Arne Slot and many of the Liverpool squad, because when somebody misses out on the World Cup, if you have any feelings for that person, if you have any sympathy for them, you offer them your empathy, you support them through this difficult period. You certainly do not make fun of them live on Liverpool FC TV, which is what Arne Slot did. Now, as all Liverpool fans know, this has been a disappointing season, and whether we like it or not, whether it makes us feel comfortable or not, we have to admit this is probably one of the worst title defenses that there has been in Premier League history since the formation of the Premier League in 1992. Now, let me cast your mind back to May of 2025, where Arne Slot on the pitch said to the Liverpool fans, I would say that this is the second league title in 5 years rather than the second league title in 30 years. Now, this is very important because what Arne Slot was trying to do at that moment when things were going well, of course, is he was trying to say that I want the Liverpool fans to see this in the best light possible. So I want you to say Liverpool have won 2 titles in 5 years rather than 2 titles in 30 years, which obviously sounds an awful lot worse. Now, in the last 10 days, Arne Slot has changed his tune and he has started using the phrase, Liverpool have won 2 titles in 30 years. So he is using it now himself when it is something that Liverpool's rivals, such as the fans of Manchester United, such as the fans of Arsenal, such as the fans of Chelsea, have been using themselves. So this phrase, 2 titles in 30 years, let's remember it is normally used by the rivals and the enemies of Liverpool Football Club, and Slot has started using it himself over the last 10 days or so. Now, this is very important and I want you to listen extremely closely. Now, Arne Slot is a student of football history and he will know perfectly well that he had a number of choices that he could have made when it comes to the wording of Liverpool and their league titles over recent decades. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, when we talk about Liverpool's titles, the league titles I'm talking about, we can say, for example, Liverpool have won 2 titles in 5 years. We can say that because they won the title in 2020 and they won the league title in 2025. Now, if we want to say, we can also say Liverpool have won 2 titles in 30 years, if we want to make the club look bad, if we want to make the club look unsuccessful. But we can go even further back than that. And we can say, if we include the title of 1990, for example, we can say Liverpool have won 3 titles in 35 years. Or if we want to go 2 years further back than that, we can go back to the league championship that Liverpool won in 1988. And we can say, well, Liverpool have won 4 league titles in 37 years. So Arne Slot had all of these options available in front of him. Yet he chose the choice of words that makes Liverpool look as bad as possible. Now, as far as I am concerned, there is a very specific reason why he is doing this, and I will explain this in the conclusion. I think that he knows something has changed, and I think he knows that he is under serious pressure in terms of his future at Liverpool FC, and that is why he is saying some of the things that he is saying. Now, just to draw this video to a conclusion, I'm going to look at 3 possible reasons as to why Arne Slot has been engaging in these bizarre comments over the last few months. Now, number 1 is what I've been told by my followers on Twitter is that Dutch people are very blunt. This is how they talk, and therefore we must always expect the unexpected from Arne Slot. Now, as far as I am concerned, this is not really much of an excuse or an explanation for some of the things that he has said, because if you are a blunt person, then at least be blunt with everybody. But he seems to be blunt with certain players that he does not like. He seems to be okay with certain other players that he does like. He seems to be very blunt about the opposition, even seemingly mocking them for not scoring enough goals from open play. But then at the same time, he's not being blunt about his own failures as a Liverpool coach this season. So if he is Dutch and he is blunt, he should be blunt about everybody, including himself. So I do not accept that as a reasonable excuse. Now, in terms of the second reason, if one looks at Arne Slot's press conferences, nothing much seemed to happen in the first year that caught our attention. And then once things started going wrong, he started saying bizarre things. And then if you look at the last 2 or 3 weeks, he has said things which could be construed as being directly insulting to the history of Liverpool Football Club. So, for example, his mockery of Liverpool not winning a title for 3 decades, in my opinion, is an insult to previous managers, 2 of which, Graham Souness and Gerard Houllier, actually had heart attacks because of the pressure that they put on themselves to deliver a league title for Liverpool FC. So I do not accept these insults that he's hurling at the club. I do not accept them at all. And what I can tell you is I think the reason that this has happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks is because Xavi Alonso was fired from Real Madrid. I think because somebody is available now, he's feeling the pressure, and therefore he thinks he might be out of the door, whether it is now or later in the season. And I think he's trying to get digs in at the club in order to make himself look as good as possible. So that is, I think, the second reason as to why he is doing the things he is doing. Now, the third possible reason is that he has looked online. He has perhaps read some of the comments of Liverpool fans, some of which can be extremely personal. So I keep hearing and seeing references to Arne Slot being bold. Lots of people online are calling him a bold fraud. This is something I don't agree with. So it is possible that he has read these types of comments online, or perhaps his daughter has read them because she's quite young, so she's probably active on social media. Perhaps she has shown her father some of these comments, and perhaps he's doing this in order to gaslight the Liverpool fans in order to gain some type of sadistic revenge. Now, the video has come to an end, so I would like you to tell me, what do you think is the worst thing that Arne Slot has said so far? What do you think he needs to do to correct this problem? And do you think he has a future at Liverpool FC? Please make your comments in the comment section. Please like, and most importantly, please subscribe, so I have the encouragement to make more videos like this where we analyze this incredible football club known as Liverpool FC. Take it easy, have a great day, and I will see you soon.
Napoleon had that idea, he would conquer the bloody world.